Remy Ma popped out as a surprise performer, and people instantly started side-eyeing the situation. Was she low-key throwing shade at DJ Envy, or was it all just part of the act for laughs? Either way, the vibe felt a little too intense to just brush off, and people definitely noticed that energy. Right now, everything is circling around Remy Ma, Fat Joe, and yeah, DJ Envy too, because his name is all over this situation heavy. Remy Ma getting brought out like that didn't feel random at all. Moves like that usually come with some kind of backstory, and people are already connecting pieces like it's a puzzle going viral. Now, this is where things really start heating up. What's actually going on behind the scenes? Let's break it down clearly. On April 4th, everything went down at the Barclays Center, and the place was packed with major names and even louder energy. The April Fool's Comedy Jam came through with a stacked lineup, and it wasn't just about laughs, it felt like something bigger was building up. We're talking Marlon Wayans, Bill Bellamy, Fat Joe, Kodak Black, Jadakiss, Rip Michaels, Michael Blackson, Bruce, Lil Duval, Emmanuel Hudson, Brandon T. Jackson, Justina Valentine, Tony Davidson, DJ Envy, Preacher Lawson, Jacob Williams, and more. That lineup was seriously loaded, no exaggeration. The event details even said lineup subject to change without notice, and now that line is hitting completely different after everything that played out. It almost feels like a warning people didn't catch at first. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. We've got to talk about the moment that had everybody reacting at once. Fat Joe bringing out Remy Ma took things to another level, and then there's also that clip from DJ Envy adding even more layers to the situation. This is exactly where things start getting messy. So boom, that clip was DJ Envy himself posting Remy Ma stepping out to lean back and completely owning the stage. The crowd went wild instantly, and the energy wasn't calm at all. It felt bigger than just a regular performance entrance, like something deeper was being hinted at. But then things really took a turn when Remy Ma grabbed the mic and started talking directly to the crowd. She dropped a freestyle and said a few lines that had people raising eyebrows fast. You could feel the shift right there. She leaned into that idea that comedians always sneak truth into their jokes. And then she hit DJ Envy with a line that sounded playful but sharp at the same time. It wasn't just random talk. It had that tone where people started questioning everything like, wait, is she joking or is this real? Because when something sounds that specific, it hits way harder than a regular joke. And let's not ignore the bigger picture either. The Breakfast Club has already been moving a little wild lately. The way they covered Clarissa Shields had people talking, and that whole Rick Ross situation brought even more attention to everything. Reports even mentioned that Remy Ma and her team had something to say through Lauren LaRosa. So this didn't just come out of nowhere.
So with that Remy Network, dog in the yard.
Y'all know what the fuck it is, you know what I mean? A lot of y'all motherfuckers wasn't on the yard. Y'all wasn't allowed to go on the yard. Y'all know it, listen, I don't make the...
Now the real question is, what happens next? Is DJ Envy going to respond on The Breakfast Club, or is he going to stay quiet and act like nothing happened? Remy Ma says there's no real beef and that's still her friend, but let's be real, comments like that don't just appear out of thin air. There's usually something behind it, and people are definitely paying attention now. Now here's where things start looking a little strange. Everybody who showed up and showed out has the timeline full of fresh moments from last night, but then people start catching something else that feels off. Why is Papoose on his Instagram stories posting old concert footage? Not just anything either, but clips from way back, like when Busta Rhymes brought him out, or older performances where he was getting tagged. The timing on that feels real questionable. When everything online is focused on Remy Ma right now, it makes people stop and look twice. Like, wait a minute, why drop throwback moments right when Remy Ma is trending from a major live appearance? That doesn't feel random at all, especially when the spotlight is clearly on her. And this isn't even the first time people have noticed this pattern. When Remy Ma got attention at a Cardi B show and was all over photos, here comes Papoose again posting a random clip, this time tied to Cardi B too, but from a completely different moment. It's like every time her name starts heating up, something pops up on his side. That timing didn't go unnoticed, and people definitely started talking about it. Woo!
saying that she's about to live. I'm pushing back and got you calling out.
So now Remy Ma is outside getting attention, support, and real buzz from the April Fool's Comedy Jam. And let's be honest, she still has presence, she still has motion, and people still recognize her name heavy. Remy Ma still carries weight, no question about it. But then here comes Papoose posting old concert clips like that's supposed to match what's happening right now. Throwback footage from years ago, moments people barely remember. It just doesn't hit the same in the middle of all this current hype. People are even saying instead of pulling up old stage clips, there were better options he could have gone with. Interviews, recent appearances, anything current. But choosing those specific clips right now is exactly what's making people raise eyebrows and start connecting dots. And here's the part that really stands out, the crowd energy. You could hear that Barclays crowd. You could see how they reacted. They were locked in, they knew the words, and they were fully tapped into Remy Ma the second she stepped out. That kind of reaction doesn't just happen out of nowhere. It comes from real recognition and a catalog people actually remember. When an audience responds like that, it says everything without needing extra explanation. Word for word, line for line, that crowd knew exactly what was going on. Every lyric landed, every moment connected, and the energy stayed strong from start to finish. That kind of response can't be forced, and it definitely can't be recreated just by posting clips online. It's a different level of connection. Now, when people start comparing, that's where things get a little uncomfortable. A lot of people are saying the main reason Papoose had that level of public support before was tied to his connection with Remy Ma. That image, that storyline, that power couple dynamic carried real weight for a long time. But now with things shifting and new situations coming into focus, people are looking closer and asking different questions. They're paying attention to timing, patterns, and how certain moves line up with what Remy Ma has going on. That's where the conversation gets louder, because every time Remy Ma has a big moment, whether it's a major appearance or a crowd reacting heavy, something else appears at the same time. To a lot of people, that feels a little too calculated. That's why some are saying it looks like an attempt to redirect attention instead of just letting her moment be what it is. And then you've got people questioning priorities too. If everything is solid on that side, why not stay fully present in current situations instead of focusing on older moments? That's the part people keep coming back to, because the timing and those choices just aren't adding up for them. At the end of the day, the internet is watching everything in real time, and when moves don't line up the way people expect, the reactions are always loud. So this whole situation ended up giving people a lot to talk about, from the surprise performance to the online reactions and everything in between, and that's exactly why the conversation isn't slowing down anytime soon. Once people start noticing patterns, they don't just forget about it, they keep watching every move a little closer. Now, the focus is shifting from just what happened on stage to what's happening behind the scenes. People are paying attention to who is posting what, when they're posting it, and how it lines up with everything else going on. Timing is starting to matter just as much as the actual content. Because if it was just one random post, nobody would really care. But when it starts to look consistent, that's when it turns into a bigger discussion. People start asking if these moves are intentional or if it just keeps happening by coincidence. And right now, most aren't buying that it's Sluchino. At the same time, Remy Ma's moment is still holding strong. That performance didn't just come and go, it stuck with people. The clips are still circulating, the reactions are still coming in, and the energy from that night is still being talked about. That kind of staying power says a lot. It shows that the moment connected beyond just the live audience. It carried over online, and that's what really keeps someone in the spotlight. So when something else starts popping up during that same window, it's naturally going to get compared. Not because people are trying to create drama, but because the contrast is easy to see.
But the crazy...
I'm not in there. She was in there like this. The thing part, she was like, out the coffin.
You thought I was dead. Wait,
That's crazy.
so I shook my head at the coffin, and then when we walked by and they opened it up and she had the bottles like that, I was like, this is just, y'all doing too much.
On one side, you have a live crowd fully engaged, reacting in real time, knowing every word. On the other side, you have older footage being reintroduced into the conversation. And for a lot of people watching, those two things just don't hit the same. That's where opinions start forming. Some people see it as harmless, just someone posting memories. Others see it as something more strategic. And once those two sides form, the debate only gets louder. It also doesn't help that social media moves fast. Every post, every clip, every caption gets analyzed almost instantly. There's no real gap between action and reaction anymore. So now, everything feels connected, even if it wasn't meant to be. That's just how the internet works right now. And as long as Remy Ma keeps having these visible moments, people are gonna keep watching what happens around those moments too. Not just her moves, but everyone connected to her name. Because at this point, it's not just about one performance or one post. It's about the pattern people think they're seeing and whether or not that pattern continues. And this is where everything starts to come full circle, because now it's not just about one night, one post, or one reaction. It's about how all of these moments are stacking on top of each other and creating a bigger picture that people can't stop talking about. And at first, it looked like just another surprise performance. Remy Ma steps out, crowd goes crazy, clips start trending, and that's it. But now, with everything else happening around it, people are looking at that same moment differently. They're replaying it, not just for the performance, but for what it might have meant. Because when you really think about it, nothing about that night felt small. The stage, the lineup, the energy, all of it pointed to something major. And Remy Ma didn't just show up quietly. She made sure her presence was felt in a way that stuck with people long after it was over. That's why the reactions didn't fade out. Usually moments like that come and go, but this one kept building. Every clip, every repost, every conversation added another layer to it. And once other names started getting pulled into the discussion, it stopped being just about entertainment. Now it's about perception. It's about who looks aligned, who looks out of sync, and who seems to be moving differently when the spotlight hits. And whether people admit it or not, those details matter a lot in how everything is being received. Remy Ma, on her side, looks like she's fully stepping back into that space where people pay attention every time she moves. The reaction at Barclays wasn't forced, and it wasn't quiet. It was the kind of response that reminds people exactly who they're watching. And when that kind of energy comes back around, it shifts things. It changes how people talk, how they compare, and how they start reevaluating past narratives. At the same time, the attention around Papoose isn't just about what he posted, it's about how it lined up with everything else. Timing turned a simple action into something people started questioning. Because if those posts happened on a random day, nobody would connect anything. But happening right when Remy Ma is trending, that's what made people pause. That's what made people start forming opinions. And once those opinions start spreading, they don't stay small. Social media takes those small observations and turns them into full conversations. Everybody adds their take, everybody brings their perspective, and before long, it becomes its own storyline. Then you add DJ Envy into the mix, and it brings even more attention. Because now it's not just one connection people are looking at, it's multiple. It starts to feel like everything is overlapping at the same time. And that overlap is what keeps people locked in. They're watching to see if anyone responds, if anything gets addressed, or if everything just keeps moving without explanation. Because silence can say just as much as a response. If nothing gets clarified, people will fill in the blanks themselves. And usually those assumptions spread faster than facts. That's why every move from here matters more than usual. Whether it's a post, a comment, or even no response at all, people are going to read into it. And at the center of all this is still that original moment, Remy Ma stepping out on that stage and shifting the energy in the room. That's what started everything. That's the moment that set all of this into motion. Everything else that followed just added layers to it. The reactions, the posts, the conversations, all of it built on top of that one appearance. So now it's less about asking what happened and more about watching what happens next. Because if there's one thing that's clear, it's that people are paying attention in real time. Every move is being noticed, every detail is being discussed, and every moment is being compared to what came before it. And when things line up a little too perfectly or feel slightly off, people are gonna call it out every single time. That's just how it works now. So whether this all turns into something bigger or fades out over time, one thing is certain. That moment at Barclays didn't just entertain people, it sparked a conversation that pulled in multiple angles, multiple names, and multiple reactions all at once. And once a moment reaches that level, it doesn't just disappear, it sticks, it evolves, and it keeps people watching to see what the next move is going to be.